buscando un ideal de un mundo sin clase que se pueda levantar. Vengo con el mundo y vengo con los pájaros, vengo con las flores y los árboles, sus cantos, vengo con el cielo y sus constelaciones, vengo con el mundo y todas sus estaciones, vengo agradecida al punto de partida, vengo con la madera, la montaña y la vida, vengo con el aire, el agua, la tierra y el fuego, vengo a mirar el mundo de nuevo.
It's the 2K Sports pregame show.
I'm Ernie Johnson here again with Kenny the Jet Smith and Shaquille O'Neal. This NBA season rocking right along, and we're loving every minute of it. The action tonight will be happening out in Dallas, where the Mavericks will be going up against the Denver Nuggets. Well, for Denver, they've built some momentum early on in the season and have shown they're trending in the right direction. As the season's progressed, so has their success and their ability to produce. Well, the big problem for Dallas last season was their play on the defensive end. They just didn't do enough to slow teams down. What can they do to improve that, Shaq?
Well, first, they got to have a rim protector on the floor at all times. Can't be passive about letting perimeter players get into the teeth of their defense and score. You need a rim protector.
I don't know. They did a poor job of rebounding last year, Shaq, and second worst in the league in the percentage of defensive rebounds grabbed. So I don't know if they can change that. It's going to be difficult.
That'll do it for us for now. Cannot thank you enough for tuning in.
It's an all-Western Conference matchup in today's game as the Nuggets come into town for this one. It's a single-game return to Dallas as the Mavericks look for a boost from their hometown crowd. And, of course, Justin Anderson. With him gone, we'll see how they get along.
You know, what the trade means to me, guys, is they think some of their younger players are ready to spread their wings and take on a little more responsibility. They're going to get more minutes for those guys and allow them to see a little more playing time.
Clearly a forward-thinking deal, you know, and even if his aren't the biggest shoes to fill, it still puts a lot of pressure on your young guys, and let's see if they're ready to fill that void.
Now let's take a look at the Nuggets opening lineup. Gallinari sits outside at 3 with Fareed at the 4. Will Barton is out there with Moutier. That's short off the rim. Now perhaps one of the most intriguing draft picks of this past summer, Emmanuel Moutier, can be a game-changing player. Was going to play, Clark, as you recall, at SMU for Larry Brown.
He sure was, and went overseas instead. So we don't know a ton about him other than his reputation is sterling. Now we'll see if he can live up to it.
Rejected by Nowitzki. And now the fast break. Matthews with the ball. Here's Parsons. The shot no good. And Denver the other way now. They couldn't put the pieces together, losing that last matchup with San Antonio.
And that was one of the few times that you'll see a team just lack fight defensively in losing that game.
Yeah, and I know their fans may not want to hear it, but the reality and the truth is the defensive end of the floor was not what it needed to be in terms of effort.
Now here's Parsons following the miss by Emmanuel Moutier. The kick out to Matthews. Denver grabs the miss.
Major defensive lapse right there. I mean, he's not a player you can leave open for a jump shot. You've got to stay attached to him. They're lucky he couldn't punish them for it.
Wow, risky shot there size-wise, but the incredible skill that he possesses allows that one to go.
Well, the quick high release negated any height disadvantage he had right there.
Nuggets have gone just 1 of 4 to get this game started. And Fareed kicks to Barton. The three-pointer off the mark.
Really just struggling here in the first few minutes. 5 attempts with only 1 falling.
Here in the first quarter with about 2 minutes gone by. And it's Gallinari missing on defense, Denver. Parsons outside. Pachulia dishes to Williams. Moutier with the rebound.
Well, the effort was there, but he just couldn't quite fight his way through traffic.
Here's Gallinari, and there's the whistle. Fouled hard on the shot. He'll go to the line.
Really was a slow start for Gallinari last season. It took him a while to get back to speed after missing all of the 2013-14 season with that torn ACL.
Gallinari did get better and better over time, and he improved. He started to get back to his former self near the end of the season.
Yeah, had that huge 47-point explosion towards the end of last season. And listen, he's still a young guy and hopefully can continue to build after his injury woes.
Mavericks trail by 4. Nowitzki, the pass to Parsons. Now Pachulia. A 3-ball. Parsons' shot is off. We're about 3 minutes into this first quarter. To the inside. Here's Barton. Takes the assist and lays it in. Picked out the pass nicely.
And that lead pass allowed him to get straight to the rim unabated in stride.
And Matthews kicks to Williams to halt the run. And Matthews gets it to go in on the assist by Williams. Matthews has got 5 points so far. Now here's Moutier. He's guarded by Williams. Moutier kicks to Barton. Moutier, no good.
The shooting numbers just aren't there yet in the quarter.
Now let's find out what head coach Mike Malone had to say to Doris Burke. Doris?
We talked about how they plan to deal with Darren Williams. He said he can do it all offensively. Shoot, drive, and of course, pass. We've got to play aggressive, try to force him towards our help, and take the ball out of his hands as much as possible. Not easy, Kevin. Not one of those things.
Thanks, Doris. Here's Fareed after Wesley Matthews score. 5 on the clock, and he gets it to go. Moutier's got his second bucket of the night. Mavericks trail by 3. Parsons dishes to Nowitzki. Williams kicks to Pachulia. Some nice passing here by Dallas. Kicks it out to Parsons. Good. And the nice assist for Williams.
There's a chance he could have a big game if they don't D him up more tightly on the perimeter.
Denver's gone 0 of 2 from deep here. Moutier kicks to Gallinari. Fareed setting the pick for Gallinari. Fareed right side. Lets it go from deep, and Pachulia pulls it down. Well, it was the Dallas Mavericks winning their last game against the Spurs in San Antonio.
My goodness, he sure can get off the ground.
One of the best in the business for sure. You're right.
I tell you what, he is an imposing finisher around the rim. He makes it look a little too easy. And they've gotten good looks, you know, so that's one reason they're frustrated. Maybe he can come up with something to get them an easy one, maybe get to the line.
Yeah, you know, that may be the answer for them. But you know what else, Greg? Ultimately, I think because they're getting good shots, they'll make a better percentage of them going forward.
Looking at who's out there now for the Mavericks. JaVale McGee's checked in for Pachulia. Lee comes in for Dirk Nowitzki. Raymond Felton, he's checked in for Wesley Matthews. And Barea subbed in for Darren Williams. The Nuggets missed the postseason again last year. Never really had a good look at it and just fell in back of the pack.
And it's the second straight year of not playing playoff basketball in Denver. This coming on the heels of 10 straight bursts between 04 and 13.
Here's Chandler after the made shot from Chandler Parsons. Here's Moutier, and a little luck that time, but it drops. Moutier's got his third basket of the night.
You can't afford to get him that kind of a look.
Well, you know, he came off with a good screen, but still, as a defender, you got to do a better job of fighting over and through that. Oh, Maestro, he is so good at making those lead passes, like conducting an orchestra.
Laverne, McGee with the block.
Tell you what, they haven't wasted any time getting into the swing of things on the board.
And even this early, that's a good omen for the rest of the game. That's a surprise. I mean, really out of character for him to miss when the defense is not right up on him.
The shot by Chandler, wide open. From outside, off the mark. The Mavericks have gone 7 of 13, just over 50% from the floor. Some good looks. And finished off by Parsons.
Solid work on the back end of that play.
Yeah, finished hard with 2 hands on the stuff.
Yeah, nothing extravagant, guys, but again, no need on that one.
Now, here's Moutier. He's got 8. Rebounded by McGee.
And trying to come up with the highlight reel finish. Somebody forgot to finish it.
Nice shot by Felton.
Boy, I tell you what, nice little run here they're going on.
And getting to the 10 has been the key. They're getting point-blank looks time and time again.
5-second differential between the shot clock and the game clock. That's good. 10 points for Emmanuel Moutier.
And he's clearly led the way offensively. The question is, can they ride him and get back into it?
Passes it to Berea. Not watching the line there. That'll be a backcourt violation. Now here's Moutier. He's covered by Felton. And Harris wide open. He shoots. Knocks down the 3 ball. Now just a 1-point Dallas lead. And it's Lee penetrating. And a good game so far as we conclude the first quarter. Mavericks lead by 1.
Ladies and gentlemen, your Dallas Mavericks dancers.
So far, it's been a closely contested game as we get the second quarter up and going. And before we move on, what do you guys think about what we've seen so far from the Mavericks?
It's been about the pace. You can see they're going to try to keep this game in the open floor.
Yeah, and, you know, it's been a tempo that they like, and they're getting some easy buckets in transition here.
David Lee is out there with JaVale McGee. Then there's J.J. Barea. Then there's Felton. And it's Matthews in at the small forward. So that's who Dallas starts the second with. Harris kicks to Barton. And there's the foul. It goes on Wesley Matthews.
And that's foul number 2. And maybe you don't sit him at this point, but you really have to be careful to not pick up another before half.
Dirk Nowitzki, he's checked in for the Mavericks. To the left wing. And here's Gallinari outside.
They've been strong on the boards. There's no disputing that.
That's what the box score says, but still anybody's game.
And he gets the bucket.
And the crisp passing has opened things up for them offensively.
10 straight points off assists. That's very impressive, and it also makes the game easy and fun to watch.
Nurkic, a screen on Felton. He with the block. Berea with him. Last time out he had 14 points. Dallas moving the ball around. Here's Barton. He's covered by Matthews. Here's Gallinari. And again, Denver no good.
And David Lee missing time early last season with that hamstring injury also opened the door up for Draymond Green to kind of take that starting power forward role. And give Lee credit, though. Didn't sulk, just threw himself into his new role as a super sub.
Chandler with a screen for Gallinari. Pass to Chandler. Shot off the pick. Hit some rim on the way in, and the bucket's good. Chandler's got his first points of the game. Mavericks leading by 3. Greg, you're talking about David Lee, the 2-time All-Star. Pretty much a starter most of his career, though. A big change, Clark, as he came off the bench this past season after he was injured in the preseason.
Yeah, you know, you think about his game, though, Kevin. Highly skilled, mobile, smart. Gives you energy and scoring. I think he's ideal coming off the bench.
Chandler, the pass to Barton. Here's Nurkic, and the layup's good off the glass.
They've done well at taking advantage of some late defensive rotations and getting the ball into the paint.
Clearly, they've been the aggressors thus far when it comes to attacking the interior in this first half.
Tacks a few more points onto their lead with the tomahawk.
That's bringing it down hard, Clark.
Yes,
bringing it down hard,
yes, sir.
Symbolic there as well of the effort here tonight.
The number of points they've scored in the paint already today is pretty eye-opening.
It really is, Clark. The defenders need to do a better job of closing those lanes to the hoop. And started hot, and he's only gotten harder.
Here in the second quarter, we've played a little over 2.5 minutes now. Here's Barton. He's covered by Felton. 6 on the shot clock. And with that, the Maverick lead is cut down now to just 3 on the basket from Barton. For Dallas, they've gone 5 of 6 so far from the field in the second quarter. Lee kicks to Matthews from outside the arc. It's in, and he's a very efficient 5 for 6 on the game.
Yeah, perfect release that time. I mean, I thought it might get blocked, but no.
Yeah, he was giving up a lot of size in that particular matchup, but showed the excellent ability to get off that shot despite the disadvantage in size.
A different look for Dallas. Pachulia comes in for David Lee, and it's Williams in for Raymond Felton. Dallas might always be considered a football town, but they take their basketball seriously here too. Huge attendance numbers, a long string of games for consecutive sellouts for the Mavs, not only last season, but for many years gone by.
And how about being third in the league in average attendance? And by percentages, they were first as they oversold the capacity of their stadium on average.
Harris against Williams. Here's Arthur. Plenty of room to knock down the shot.
Arthur.
Dallas leading by 6. Matthews dishes to Pachulia. Here's Barton. Good. And Harris gets the assist. Barton's got 4 points in the quarter.
Wow, that's a really smooth finish.
That's why we and they always love seeing him at the end of those breaks. He makes it look fun and easy.
Here's Jokic. Oh, and that one, no question, powered it down.
Yeah, how about the sharp steal and then run out? It looks like they're ready to put the hammer down.
We've been waiting for one of these teams, Greg, to pull away. Maybe that'll be a springboard for them.
Could be. A dunk like that coming off a great defensive play has to build some momentum.
Here's Barton, guarded by Barea, kept alive.
Well, I tell you what, that's too good a look to pass up there. Even though it didn't go, that's one you got to take.
Wasted no time on that one. And it's a 7-point Dallas lead.
They're in the position they're in right now, thanks in no small part to the show that he's putting on in this period.
Barton passes to Jokic, and he takes the fantastic lead pass up strong for the slam.
Nothing fancy there. Didn't need it.
Nope. His only concern right now, Clark, is getting the points on the board, and I don't mean style points.
I like the simplicity.
Well, there's also style just with the fact that he's able to have that kind of a finish, though. Still, I like that pretty one-handed flush.
Looking at who's out there now for the Mavericks. JaVale McGee comes in for Dirk Nowitzki. And Parsons subbed in for Matthews. Laverne, he's checked in for the Nuggets. Moutier comes in for Will Barton.
You know, Kenneth Faried was named to the NBA All-Rookie First Team 4 years ago. Took the league by storm with his energy and hustle. Looked like the sky was the limit for him, but every year since then, his numbers have looked very similar.
And Parsons gets it to go.
Boy, you got to love that assist by Darren Williams.
The Nuggets trail by 8. A minute 20 left to play in the first half. A look from Harris. Drops one in from the wing. Harris has got 5. Getting back to Faried, the numbers through last season tell a very interesting story. His field goal percentage has gone down every year, while his free throw percentage has gone up every year.
Yeah, his rebounds, assists, steals, block numbers have all stayed relatively flat. You know, he's making a positive contribution, but maybe not at the level of that contract extension he signed back in 14.
Hard work on the glass once again, fellas. They put a lot of effort into their rebound.
There's a reason why they have 3 seconds in the lane, and that interior play has made a big difference in this game.
Here's McGee.
Oh, quick hands on the steal, and then just mad hops on the slam.
Great sequence for them defensively and Clark offensively.
Well, one usually leads to the other, Kevin. That's just good, aggressive, attacking basketball at both ends.
That Kia slant cam replay really gave you a good look at the action.
Well, they've gone on this run, and ball movement has been a big key.
It really has, Clark. The defense unable to react as quickly as necessary in terms of dealing with their passing.
And it's out of bounds. The Nuggets able to retain possession here. We've got 13 seconds left in the first half. Harris kicks to Moutier. On the wing, Chandler. And again, Denver, no good. Felton. Buried from outside. But I don't know. I think we may see a review here. That was pretty close. And the teams are going to have to wait before heading to the locker room. They're going to bring out the monitor and see if he got that shot off in time.
And to me, guys, it looks pretty clear-cut on the instant replay. I mean, the ball was out of his hands in time. I think they'll confirm this one pretty quickly.
Well, I can't see how they'd come to any other conclusion. I mean, we have a good look at it on the replay. The clock's still ticking when it left his fingertips.
Basket's good.
And they've overturned the call. The replay was conclusive, and that one's going to count.
And Kevin, an example of why it's good to have replay. I don't know what kind of impact it'll have on the final result, but you always want them to get every call right.
And so a pretty lopsided game through the first half. It's Dallas as they end the second quarter with a huge surge, an 18-4 run. Stay with us, folks. We'll get back just after halftime to start the third quarter.
The 2K Sports Halftime Show.
Welcome back, everybody. It's the 2K Sports Halftime Show. Ernie Johnson along with Kenny the Jet Smith and Shaquille O'Neal. Wesley Matthews has been having a big night. He ended up with 17 points and 3 assists. And Kenny, what are your thoughts on how Dallas played?
How good are these guys on the fast break? They're pushing the ball, finding the open man, finishing strong. They're at a breakneck pace, and if they can maintain this level of intensity in the second half, blowout city.
And you, big fella, let's get your thoughts on the Nuggets.
They're getting completely outworked on the glass. Giving up that many rebounds is how you dig yourself into a hole like this, Ernie. They want to close the gap on the scoreboard. They got to close the gap on the boards. You like that, Ernie? They want to close the gap on the scoreboard. They got to close the gap on the boards. Oh, I'm so good.
And that's it for halftime as the second half is just about to get underway. See you after the game.
Okay, Dallas, now stepping onto the court for your...
Welcome back, everyone. We're ready to get going again as this presentation of the NBA on 2K Sports continues. Players are topped off with Gatorade, hydrated, and ready to get going again as well. One of the stories here, Wesley Matthews getting it done today.
He created a lot of quality shots for himself in that first half, and he knew when to pass it up when the double team came.
And that led to a very high points per shot number for him. For those of you that are into analytics, that stat really tells how efficient a player has been, and he's been very efficient so far.
So on the floor for Denver, Gallinari sits outside at 3 with Farid at the 4. Moutier out there with Will Barton.
Well, you know, the Mavs made the playoffs last season, but they really had a hard time against the rest of the Western Conference contenders, in part because they struggled defensively. Offensively, they were pretty good, but they didn't quite come up with enough stops when they needed them.
The Nuggets trail by 18. Now, here's Moutier. 13 points in the game. He dishes it to Gallinari. They set the pick. 5 on the clock. Lets it go. The shot is off. Parsons with some nice D.
They've shown effort and aggression in the paint right from the tip. Their rebounding edge is impressive.
And they're giving themselves extra possessions and have taken advantage of it, and that's critical. You can shoot a few lesser percentage if you're getting more opportunities at the rim.
Outside Matthews. Dallas moving it around. Williams kicks to Pachulia. Back to Matthews. Rebounded by Farid. The Nuggets trail by 16. Here's Barton. Can't cash in from close range. Parsons dishes to Nowitzki. Good. Nowitzki's got 4 points this quarter.
You know, there's no better sign of how efficiently a team is operating than their assist numbers. And theirs are fantastic.
Just beautiful when they play the game like this.
Time call here. The Nuggets decide to talk it over.
And Dirk Nowitzki last season, I felt like the first time we saw real signs of wear and tear from all the years of him playing. His field goal percentage, points per game, rebounds, all off his career averages. And that said, though, he's still a crafty, dangerous guy to have to go up against.
16 feet away. Here's Jokic, and it is flushed down with a nice jam.
A signature slam right there from the big fella. How many of those have we seen before?
And Parsons kicks to Pachulia. Matthews passes to Nowitzki. Stolen by Fareed. A little under 2.5 minutes gone by here in the third. Screen by Fareed. Here's Barton. They get it again. Rejected by Nowitzki.
And that'll increase their rebound advantage. They've definitely been winning that battle on the board.
You know what? No rebounds, no rings, and they've controlled the boards, and that's what's given them control of this game.
Well, going back to Nowitzki, his value at this point of his career cannot be measured by stats alone.
Exactly, and that's what wasn't there last year, that great team of guys around him, because that's really when he's at his very best. He can still fill it up fast, and he's one of the smartest players in the league, too.
And the shooting has really been there for him today, but he may have to take it upon himself to continue to carry this team and try and get out of this hole.
Fires from 14, and it's Dallas with another.
Dirk Nowitzki homing in on offense.
The Nuggets trail by 18. Just under 3.5 minutes played here in the third quarter. Moutier passes to Jokic. Fareed trying to get open. And that one's good. Jokic. 10 points for him.
And defensively, they are on their heels every time the ball comes inside.
Yeah, I think they've got to ramp up the aggressiveness, Greg. I mean, if they don't, things are just going to get worse from here.
Raymond Felton, he's checked in for Parsons. And Denver with a change here, too. Terrell Arthur, he's checked in for Kenneth Fareed. Kicks to Nowitzki. The leaner inside. And he gets it to go.
And he could be the guy to put this game out of reach.
And the Mavericks making a change here. McGee's checked in. The Mavericks shooting their first free throw of the night.
And they've had really good numbers all season from the free throw line.
Those are good numbers for any team. I mean, they can feel extremely good about their free throw shooting percentage this season.
Moutier kicks to Gallinari. Beyond the arc. Oh, he got hacked on the three-pointer. He'll head to the line.
You know, it hasn't always been the case in the NBA, but parity is at a great spot right now. Every team can compete for a title or end up last in their conference, it seems. It's something the NBA wanted and ultimately now has achieved.
David Lee checked in for Dirk Nowitzki. And Denver with a change here, too. Nurkic is checked in. And speaking of NBA parity, it's impossible to go from last to first in a single year, but it can happen in a 3-year span.
And that's all you really want from a fan's perspective. Hope. To illustrate the parity, all 4 teams in the conference finals from last year were different from the year before.
Here's Moutier. 13 points in the game. McGee with the block.
Physically, there's no doubt they've been the stronger team. That plus 10 rebound advantage tells you all you need to know.
Yeah, not to mention what it says on the scoreboard. They're really pushing them around. Straight bully ball.
And a look at how the hustle game has been going for the Mavericks.
Their defense has been outstanding, closing out on shots and blocking a few as well.
They've repeatedly gotten out on the break tonight as well and scored a lot of baskets in transition. You know, one aspect of their play today that's really been tight and far superior is their passing.
And that kind of flow can be elusive, but the great offenses have it, and that's just what they've shown here tonight.
Moutier. Misses from close range.
Terrific job that time defending at the rim. I mean, it's not an easy task stopping that fella when he's headed to the bucket like that. Good job.
Here's Barton. And it's JaVale McGee with the foul. That'll be his second foul of the game.
That is a pretty finish. Defense did all they could there, but he just outwilled them.
For the Nuggets, Laverne, he's checked in for Arthur. Chandler comes in for Gallinari.
And, guys, he saw his chance to earn a little camera time there and took it.
Rocking the rim with some major force.
Lazy defense there, though, fellas. Somebody's got to be willing to put their body on the line and try to impede his path there.
That was a nice replay brought to you by Kia. And another miss by Denver. Dallas leading by 22. Felton kicks to McGee. The rim rattler.
Just a remarkable jam. These fans' jaws are on the ground right now.
That's straight up Showtime stuff right there, baby. Major highlight reel material.
And there's the pass to Nurkic. How's that for an answer? Right back with the dunk.
Just so fast. I mean, it's like trying to stop a train when he's coming in for the slam.
Upside Felton. To the paint, Chandler with the steal. And the Nuggets pushing it up now. Here's Harris. Foul call that time on the way up. That'll give him 2 chances at the free throw line here.
That's his first personal foul.
Well, the players you see on this list know a little bit about putting points on the board. They're the shooting guards averaging the most points over the last 10 games. 5th, Wesley Matthews.
And this is the cream of the crop at the 2-guard spot. I mean, strictly in terms of their scoring ability and the ease with which they can overwhelm would-be defenders.
And that's exactly what they do, overwhelm you. This is an aggressive attacking group. Each one of these guys is a one-man wrecking crew offensively.
That's good from Harris on the assist for Moutier. Moutier's got 6 assists in the game.
That pass into the paint, that is a work of art there, dead on target.
McGee dishes to Matthews. He feeds it to Williams. The tray. No luck. Now Denver takes it the other way. And this matchup with the Mavericks, it's the first meeting of the season.
Yeah, and these teams pretty familiar with one another. They'll face off 4 times this year.
And you know, Greg, both would love to get the upper hand early. This game, to me, is psychological as much as anything. I mean, a win here provides that edge you're looking for.
And Matthews kicks to Williams. Good on the three-point shot. Williams has got 5 now.
And they clearly are just destroying this group right now from the three-point line.
Yeah, and the defense knows it. I mean, they are fully stretched out trying to stop the three-point shot and still haven't been able to do it.
And here at the end of the third quarter, it's a double-digit. And we welcome you back as we get going here in the fourth quarter. The final quarter of play can change everything. Denver with the ball. 19-point game. And following this game, they hit the road to challenge the Bucks at BMO Harris Bradley Center in Milwaukee. And that game will be game 2 of 5 out on the road. Parsons and Dirk are in at the forward spots. Felton is out there with Williams, and it's Pachulia in at the 5 down low. That's the lineup out there for the Mavericks.
And that's the classic 1-2 punch right there. I mean, nice steal, and then how about the elevation, Kevin, on the finish?
And, Greg, nothing spurs some quick offense like a great play defensively.
That indicates the importance of great on-the-ball defense, as was displayed right there.
And Commissioner Silver taking a bold stance on sports betting. I mean, going into last season, he wrote that op-ed piece saying that it needs to be legalized federally. It basically brought into the light of day.
Shot clock at 6. Gallinari passes to Jokic. That ball is good for another field goal. His 6th. He is 6 for 9 on the stat sheet.
Yeah, I love the communication and the chemistry between those teammates.
And for Commissioner Silver arguing for legalized sports betting, that's a major reversal from what most sports commissioners Clark had said in the past.
Yeah, you know, I like his open-mindedness, not just about that issue, but a number of issues that confront the league. And, you know, he's right in regards to the gambling. With the internet, people are making these bets anyway, so it makes sense for the league to take a look at it.
And they've looked terrific in transition today. That's had a lot to do with their success.
Boy, it certainly has. I mean, they've done a really good job recognizing anytime they've had the numbers advantage, and then they've taken advantage. We've seen it time and time again here.
And he gets the bucket. And that's 19 points for Chandler Parsons.
That's their third straight make off an assist.
Great ball movement.
Clark, they've been struggling here on offense.
Yeah, a little bit of cottonmouth here. Dry spell for sure.
You know, in Dirk Nowitzki, you start to wonder if he's the best foreign-born player ever. Of course, you have a lot of competition for that distinction. I mean, you got Hakeem, Nash, Parker, just to name a few.
Let's go quickly over to Doris Burke for an update.
During that break, Coach Mike Malone had some words for his team. He talked to his guys about having an open, aggressive approach offensively, saying, quote, forget about playing it safe, let's get after it. Likely the final major changes to their game plan as they try to make a late comeback here in the fourth. Kevin, back to you.
And thank you for that, Doris. Back to the topic, and Nowitzki is the greatest foreign-born player ever. I think Hakeem Olajuwon, Clark, is really his only challenger.
Yeah, I would agree with that, and I'd keep Hakeem at the top of that list just because of his presence and impact at both ends of the floor. But Dirk, clearly one of the all-time greats in NBA history.
Barton kicks to Gallinari. And over 2.5 minutes in the books here in the fourth. Right through the D for the layup. Dallas leading by 21. Dallas moving it around. Back to Parsons. Looks for Nowitzki. Gets it to him. And another basket for Dallas.
Just impressed with the teamwork out there, setting the table for one another.
5 straight baskets, Greg, resulting from assists. They're playing as one unit out there.
And that one's good. And that's now 6 points for Kenneth Faried. Here's Pachulia. And so he earns a trip to the line. Officials saw the contact, and he'll shoot 2.
And Zaza Pachulia, for my money, has been one of the toughest players in the league. He's got a boxer's mentality. Even his face looks a little bit like a boxer's. He doesn't have the quick twitch muscles of some guys, but his power and effort consistently stand out.
The Nuggets making a switch here. Moutier is checked in. Down low. And Faried throws it down.
This guy is a high flyer. I mean, especially for a power forward, and he needs to be as an undersized player.
Talking about Jaja's toughness, it's one of the reasons he has such a high rebounds per minute average over his career. And defending on the blocks, he's almost unmovable.
He really, you know what, Coach Kidd loves Jaja. Even started him over John Henson by the end of the season. I mean, he's always willing to trade body blows down low and certainly wins his fair share of those battles. He has created some terrific opportunities for himself and really made the most of them.
To the middle. Faried, no good.
Yeah, but you have to love that tough interior defense.
And, Greg, that's exactly what he gives you. I mean, he's constantly making his presence felt around the rim.
Mavs made the playoffs again last season. 14th playoff berth for them in the last 15 years, and only the San Antonio Spurs have made more, Greg, over that time frame.
Yeah, and they had a tough first-round opponent in the number 2 seed, Houston. A good old Texas tussle between the 2 and the 7 seeds.
And the Mavericks making a change here. Matthews is checked in. Pass to Jokic. Gallinari against Parsons. Jokic. And another one in the scoring column for him. He's 7 of 10 from the field.
Yeah, and you know, the Mavs got bounced out by the Rockets in 5 games in round 1. They were able to avoid the sweep, but losing the first 3 was way too much to overcome.
The Nuggets have gotten into a pretty good groove, going 6 of 10 here in the final quarter. Dishes to Barton. It's deflected, and he's able to get it back. No one near Moutier as he lets it go. No good on the 3. Mavericks leading by 23. To the inside, and it's out of bounds. They say it was last touched by Williams.
And for Dallas in the playoffs, really it didn't help to have the Rondo drama going on at the time. Even if that hadn't happened, though, you got the feeling that they were overmatched against a red-hot Houston team.
Catching up on the changes for Dallas. JaVale McGee's checked in for Pachulia. He comes in for Dirk Nowitzki. Caspi, he's checked in for Parsons. Devin Harris subbed in for Williams. And the Mavericks will go for a different look here. Pachulia, he's checked in for JaVale McGee. Nowitzki comes in for Lee. Parsons checked in for Caspi. And it's Williams in for Harris. Fareed dishes to Gallinari.
The NBA has done a terrific job of increasing its presence around the globe. I mean, what was once a national sport has become a global sport in a relatively short time. I think that'll continue to be the case as a larger international presence moves forward.
And there's the basket. Whistle blows and a chance for a three-point play. Going to the line for one.
Dirk Nowitzki, he can dish the rock too.
Denver with a platoon swap here on the floor. Tanking is something that all teams that are out of it tend to do. I hate that word, Clark, but it seems to be the one used by a lot. Nuggets didn't really try to hide it last season either.
Well, you know, it certainly looked that way. Right around March, they just started sitting key players for no real reason. They framed it as rest, but it didn't quite look that way.
Nurkic, the pass to Arthur. From the arc. And Pachulia pulls it down. Pachulia's got his 8th rebound here tonight.
And as we head to the final buzzer here, a crushing blowout, big-time dominance, and this will go in the record books as a gaudy win for Dallas.
And this was one that never really was in doubt, I thought, Stephen Clark. An all-around dominant performance. Clark, and you kind of thought that maybe even going into the game.
I certainly did, and they just cracked it open and made it an NC. No contest.
Yeah. So looking at the season total, this will be their 17th win.
In what should be an exciting 4-game season series between these two teams, they have to feel great about taking this first one tonight against the Nuggets.
I mean, when you look at the stats, you'll see just how dominant a game this was for Nowitzki. He was everywhere defensively, offensively. The effort we saw from him tonight, I think, was the difference. And guys, for the Nuggets, it seemed to come out of the blue for their players. They all felt fresh, but the press release would say they needed rest. So obviously a bit of miscommunication there.
And it's the Nuggets with the ball. Now the dish to Laverne. From the baseline. Mavericks with the rebound. Parsons outside. Feeds to Williams. Three-pointer. And it's Williams again missing. And here's Nelson. So we see the Mavericks taking the win here. They poured it on tonight, Clark. A dominant showing in front of a crowd that loved every minute of it.
I don't think they have anything but positives to take away from this win. Offensively, defensively, every aspect of the game, it all went right for them.
And that'll do it, folks. For Clark Kellogg, Greg Anthony, and Doris Burke, this is Kevin Harlan along with our entire 2K Sports crew, thanking you for tuning in. Now time to send you over to the award-winning Ernie Johnson for the postgame show with Shaquille O'Neal and Kenny the Jet Smith.
The 2K Sports postgame show.
Hi again, everybody. This is Ernie Johnson, joined by Shaquille O'Neal and Kenny the Jet Smith. Time now to present our Jordan Player of the Game, Dirk Nowitzki.
Just a sensational performance on a lot of levels, Ernie. Too many levels to talk about. Man, in some game, he's in the background. He doesn't get the chance to be the star of the show, but not tonight. He's the star tonight. Put him on the Hollywood Walk of Fame.
I can't imagine a player having a better night from the field than he had tonight. His shooting percentage was off the charts. He used every trick in the book to get those high percentage shots. He shot from every direction, and there was a little bit of luck here and there, but he was on fire.
And folks, that's it for us. Thank you for tuning in. Always a pleasure. For Kenny the Jet Smith, for Shaquille O'Neal, this is Ernie Johnson. Have a great night.